say who I am and what I do, I'll ask one simple question. I can see you are all different in ages. I want to ask one simple question. How many people became teachers by choice? How many became teachers by choice? Wow, wow. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 there. How many are you here in total?
20.
Eh? 100. About 100. Wow. Let me tell you something. Those of you who do not raise your hands, listen to be very careful. Because you could be going through punishment without knowing. Are we together? So it's now upon you to decide whether to continue with that punishment or you align yourself in line with becoming or continue becoming a teacher. Why? The school system knows very well. Only 10% of teachers became teachers by choice. All schools, the whole school system, 90% of the teachers were done by job and into teaching and worship. Okay? Along the way, 40 to 50% of teachers who are in the 90% ended up liking teaching. And they are happy teaching and very passionate. So we have a balance of 40% of teachers who don't like teaching at all. They are the ones who are going through punishment. Look at pamoja. And that is terrible for the students, for the society, for the entire school system. Look at pamoja. Now, are you aware of this fact? These statistics, are you aware of them? Now, I can introduce myself and say who I am. My name is Mwandi Wajombe. I come from Nairobi, but today I passed through here, this school, on my empowerment mission which has lasted a long time since 2013. 2 weeks ago, I had talked to principals of Nyandarua County at Okalao Secondary School, and with the permission from the County Director of Education during their meeting. And when I arrived here, I was told, hapa utatuongelesha wale wako hapa. Nikasema, okay, let me spare some neutral time, 10 minutes or so, and give you some tips that will be very helpful. Anyway, Mwandi Wajombe is a professional trainer on strategy, performance management, change management, and also leadership. Also, I publish right down the same areas. I used to write in the Daily Nation, the Standard, and also the Business Daily for many years. And alongside, I decided to write a column on strategy in a magazine called Small and Medium Enterprise Today, which was circulated in universities and also business organizations. And along the way, I was training with authority from in organizations with authority from the National Industrial Training Authority. You know NITA, isn't it? And without permission, I was able to train and do research. And along the way, I found a problem. And this problem was that more than 80% of people who are employed are passionate about what they do. They are there because of what they get. Now, I saw that as total wastage of the human capital or human financial resources, taking people to school up to 18 years to get a past degree, and then they end up becoming dispassionate about what they do. I decided to research on that, and by 2015, I had found that more than 50% of school graduates in Kenya are unemployed. Not unemployed. People who are, I know you are parents, so So let me give you the facts. People who are properly empowered with the power to read and do what appertains to the degrees conferred with the easily secure jobs. True or not true? Or create their own. Okay? So when you find people who are helpless and they have gone up to university, where is the problem? Is it the job? I trace the problem with the education system. And having been working from the top there, I decided to start a bottom-up empowerment strategy, which started in the school system through writing a book called Career Dynamics in the 21st Century. Why? I was removing Kenyans from 20th century thinking to 21st century thinking. 20th century thinking, sabeni vijana, mwongeze pia bidii, baada ya masomo, mtapata kazi mzuri sana. Wapi kazi? Because 20th century thinking is not working in the 21st century. And there are how many decades in the 21st century? 2.5 decades, isn't it? So we are led by how many decades? 2.5. Now, I decided to research on what goes wrong with the education system. And I noticed that there are 5 stages of making choices. One, when we are growing up in primary school before we go to secondary school, and please grasp this very carefully, because you'll be able to help even your children and your students as well. The 5 stages are when we are in primary school, before we go to secondary school. That is when we should, are we going to technical secondary schools, especially during our time, our technical secondary schools, and academies. Are we together? They were divided into 2. Those people who are very good with the work of their hands, they were going to technical secondary schools. Do we have technical secondary schools anymore? Some of them became universities. A good example is Baari University. Another example is Machakos University. So, technical secondary schools became abolished for reasons that people did not understand the destruction they were doing in this country. Now, blue-collar jobs, what happened to blue-collar jobs? They disappeared. Isn't it? When SDS was being done a few years ago, technicians were coming from China because we abandoned our technical education. Are we together? Now, the next stage, Form 2. People just make choices without thinking how to affect them later on in life. Then, Form 4, any degree or any, okay? Then, at university, 3rd year specialization. Are we together? Then, after university, any job that comes in one way is welcome. True or not true? So, 5 stages, we remembering them. And now, that is what causes all the mess that we are in this country. We are experiencing in this country. Why? When people make their own choices, at secondary school particularly, around Form 2, we start letting people venturing into drugs and other burning schools. Why do they do that? Because education, because of the choices they have made, has now become punishment. Are we together? So they venture into those in this place to run away from. Are we together? Now, as they continue growing up, after leaving school, they have entered into something called scarcity mentality. Scarcity? I would say scarcity mentality. What does that mean? You believe your mindset is you cannot get what you want in life. Are we together? So any which way that you want to get what you want in life is welcome. That is the origin of the famous corruption in our country. Because, the most important thing is to get what you want. It doesn't matter. And many other negativities in the country. Now, the good news, there's an alternative which is called abundance mentality. Abundance, and you people in the JSS, you should note this clearly, because you are now trying to guide your students towards abundance. How are you doing that? You are always noticing what a child is good at, isn't it? And along the way, you are supposed to align that child with their natural orientation. Have you looked at it? And that is expected of all of you. True or not true? To know what they are good at and align them appropriately. Me, I noticed that long time ago, before the CBC came into play. Have you looked at it? Why? I was solving the problem of the 5 stages where by 90% have made the wrong choices. And that is when I wrote this book titled Career Dynamics in the 21st Century. And why does that happen? Why is it that people consistently make those wrong choices instead of going straight to abundance mentality? Why? Because the world has evolved through 5 eras. Okay, let me just give you a tip. 5 eras. The first one is hunter-gatherer era. Then agricultural era. I will not give you details because of time. Then the third one is industrial era. Then the 4th one is information knowledge era. And the final one is the current one, which is current era. Where is our country? Where is our country? Remember? Someni vijana, ongeze pia bidii baada ya masomo. Now you are in the information knowledge, and that is why there's a lot of exam leakages, because the only thing that matters is certificates. You go pamoja, and once you have certificates, they can take you anywhere. That is what is assumed. But in the 21st century, the thinking is the power to get what you want in life is within you, not outside you, within your child, within your student. Tuko pamoja. Am I talking to somebody? Now, when I wrote this book in 2015, it was eventually used for architecture of the CBC. Now the education has got 3 empowerment topics. Which one? First one is STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Then the other one is humanity. Then the other one is art and sports. That is how the children that you are handling and your children, and even in ourselves, are supposed to be aligned with our natural orientation. Are we together? The moment you fail to do that, straight away we end up in scarcity mentality. And because of that, this book was approved for circulation in schools way back in 2016, and that is why I'm here, circulating the book and conducting seminars in schools, seminars for teachers, seminars for students. It all depends on what the school wants. Just here in the neighborhood, I conducted a seminar for Nyahururu highway schools way back in 2021, October. I'm expecting to conduct another seminar somewhere on Nyahururu, Nyahururu Road, sometime at the end of this month. And I'll keep on coming to conduct more seminars. And in your neighborhood, like Ethiopia, I've conducted many seminars for teachers, for students. It all depends on the school. Good examples are Bishop Ruiz, Nyahururu Secondary School, Iguamete Secondary School, Biro Secondary School, and beyond that, like Ethiopia, the other side, St. Jude Girls Secondary School, Nanyuki Garrison, and also Lloyd Nanyuki Girls in the recent past. Now, I'm giving you that information so that you can see the seriousness of what I have gathered for you today. Are we together? I would want to talk to you about more and more about that strategy, how it works, and how that empowerment strategy can be applied by each one of you, and then eventually you become high flyers. So, as you continue with your lessons, be remembering that. If you want to know more from me, one you are going to remember that. My number is 0722 51 62 10. And I'm also on YouTube. There's a lot of content on education matters. Still, one thing